God bless you. Now's the time of change in our society, changing demographics, the rise of hip-hop as pop culture, social media, a 24/7, 365, always-on reality TV media cycle waiting to push us the content of the day. We are always seeing diverse images. The police cannot aggress against our black bodies for Lambda, Castile, and Michael Brown without being seen. Powerful brands cannot get away with tone-deaf advertising campaigns. Pepsi, missing the mark with their depiction of Black Lives Matter and other social causes. Dove, depicting dirty black skin being pulled back to reveal pristine white skin. We see them. We live in a time of resurging activism, particularly amongst the centennial generation, the youngest amongst us. A generation born 1997 through to today, born after the millennials. The young millennials and the centennials, oh, they get after it. You know what I'm talking about, hashtag Black Twitter. Standing at ready, set, not even ready, set, go. Ready to bring down any company or leader that dare challenges the fantastic, over-the-top, always super burning hot black girl magic, which is black girls rocking in this country each and every day. Now is a time of great pain and conflict in our nation. Since the election of President Trump, hate crimes are up. Violence is up. A wave of uncertainty has gripped our country as never before, and it weighs heavily on those of us who skew towards inclusion, who skew towards freedom, who skew towards possibility. Those of us who believe in a government that's a tool of our democracy, a government that works in service of the public, not an instrument of domination or narrow self-interest. Not what we're seeing today in Washington. Not what we're seeing out of our 45th president. Shame on you, President Trump. I hosted a national webinar featuring 2,000 leaders in the wake of the University of Virginia tragedy. And the community feels that we are under siege from a resurgence of hate and incivility in our country. That from the top, we are becoming a country of exclusion and not inclusion. Attacks on immigration policy and its implications for the Muslim world. Attacks on DACA and those young families, individuals trying to live the American dream. Attacks on race-conscious admissions programs that help our young people to access great futures, particularly our black and our brown young people. Attacks on Title IX and gender protection for women. Attacks on the transgender community and their ability to serve in the military. Attacks on poor people. Taking away health care from the most vulnerable. But the crisis that we see in our nation, the moral crisis that we have in our country, it goes beyond Washington and President Trump. It's the shameful punishing of Colin Kaepernick by NFL owners who have banished him for the courage to take a stand against police violence. A brother who put millions on the line for what he believes, and who stands proudly before a good Kappa man, standing for the values not only of Kappa Alpha Psi, but the values that bring each and every one of us here today. And a big, 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 huge shout out to LeBron James, Stephen Curry, and the men of the NFL, Major League Baseball, and the NBA, who are returning the black male athlete, indeed the athlete, to the conversation of social justice. Channeling the legacy of James Brown, channeling the legacy of the great Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, channeling the legacy of Muhammad Ali, channeling the legacy of Billie Jean King, channeling the legacy of those who put their sports iconography to the side to stand for those who were vulnerable, to stand for something that was more. LeBron James proving he may not just be the greatest basketball player of his time, but he may be the greatest sportsman of his time. An individual creating a school, an individual giving because he understands what it means to live a life of legacy. It's not all about you, because success is what you do for you, but greatness is what we do for others. Greatness is the ripple effect you create in the world. Athletes, it's been a long time. We've been waiting for it. Thank you for coming home. And while we appreciate the NFL's gesture to do some gerrymandering and refunneling and redirecting some dollars to make it look like they're doing a $100 million gift, we need more. We need more money, more leadership, more empathy. We need more sincerity from our nation's pastime. We need more. But it's not just athletes. It's not just what's going on in that world. It's the fall from grace. A of leading national voices like John Conyers, Russell Simmons, Bill Cosby, Matt Lauer, Charlie Rose, Ben Affleck, and others who are embroiled in mounting evidence suggesting that they are predators against women, let alone the commentary authored by 45. Predatorial behavior. The moral challenge that faces us. It's the crisis level conditions that bring us here today that we see in our communities as black males are being systematically eliminated from our society. 59% of black males graduated from high school versus 80% of white males. But blessedly, that number is trending upward. The 6-year graduation rate for black male college students attending public university, an embarrassing and an appalling 33%. Students that go to the great Morehouse University that we talked about, roll the dice, 55% graduation on the 6th year. 85% of all students accepted. The great Morehouse. HBCUs, the bastions of opportunity and possibility in our community for decades and generations. Graduation rates trailing so low. The challenge before us. Black men in prison at 6 times the rate of white men and have a 1 in 3 chance of going to federal or state prison in their lifetime. Indeed, the only place where we as black men are overrepresented is in special education, the juvenile and the justice system, and on revenue-generating athletic programs that play football and basketball at the Division I level. As 56% of all athletes at that level are black males. That's where we're overrepresented. By every other indicator, societally, educationally, economically, we are struggling. It's why this event is so important. Because those of us who are here today, we stand in the breach. We stand in the gap. We stand for the possible. And the contributions that we make to this scholarship fund are more than just the $1, the $2, the $100, the $1,000, the legacy that you spent your life giving intergenerationally, because it represents a contribution to someone's possibility. We never know where the spark's going to come from that's going to change the world. I stand before you born to a 16-year-old teen mother. I grew up in the inner city of Dayton, Ohio. I grew up with crack houses on both corners. I stand before you. As Dr. Bergen said, the roads are built of concrete. And the contributions you make are about more roses, going on to great futures. My life work is about inclusion. It's about equity. It's about hope. It's about empowerment. Leaders like you who are in this room today. The challenge before us is for economic empowerment, to help a new generation to have hope, to have faith, to believe, to access educational pathways, to own homes, to start businesses, to not just have a job, but to pass wealth. We have no intergenerational wealth in our community. All of us somewhere very close to poverty. If we lose our jobs, the thing falls apart. To be citizens, to be free in our country. That's why we're here today. Not just to give a scholarship, but to help someone to be free, to truly live the American dream. Not just to watch it on YouTube, not just to tweet it, not just to do it for the gram, but to really leave it, to live it each and every day. It's because I believe and I know that we need you, the leaders in this room, to truly make America great again. To make America great for all black and brown, all heteronormative or LGBTQ. To make America great for white males, women, immigrants, those growing up in urban or rural communities, those growing up with and without privilege, those who are rich and those who are poor. We need you to be leaders. Those assembled here today to embrace the challenge of making America great for all. Because the demands of what we see today necessitates nothing less. People see more, they think more is easy. More is never easy. More is struggle, more is every day. My journey began with a teen mother, unconditional love, a fear of failure, and a spark that turned to a flame to chart a life of giving. I grew up in the rough. where the seduction of drugs, violence, and criminality was everywhere. A community where books and classrooms were too often traded for dime bags and street corners. A community where teen pregnancy was as much a rite of passage as high school graduation. But I was lucky. I had parents like you who are in the room today, who sacrificed greatly. They entertained my passions, my love of comic books and sport, and they cultivated them in me like a flint to a stone, sparking my imagination, making me competitive, giving me discipline, galvanizing me to fight for the privilege of education and my desire for more, not just for myself, but for others. And for 40 years I fought. The black hole that swallowed too many who had far more talent than me, but not had the same opportunity, support, and love as me. And for 40 years, I fought the criticism of naysayers. Because when you're a black man thriving, you have naysayers. When you're a black person thriving, you have naysayers. You look up and realize you've done everything right. You got the degree. You performed at the highest level. You have no criminal record. You take care of your family and your kids. You do everything right, but you find yourself at times twisted in the game. It's called being black in America. And as I move to close, through my struggle, my journey has taught me some principles that I want to share with you. And it's these principles of more. And one of the things I did a couple years ago is I wrote my leadership manifesto. And it's on my website, drdamonwilliams.com. It's titled very simply More. And I encourage each and every one of you to write down your leadership manifesto. What do you stand for? Where did you come from? What are your leadership values and principles? What do you go back and hold on to in difficult moments and times of inconvenience? Because when you find yourself twisted, you hold on to your faith, you hold on to your relationships, and you hold on to your values. More is defining your North Star vision and living with passion to accomplish your goals, no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, no matter where you are in your life. 2, more is embracing a dogged commitment to maximizing your potential. Particularly young people in the room. You should be focused on maximizing your potential. Your potential. I want nothing to be less when it's over. I want to be the equivalent of a football player that can't walk because I gave it all to the game. More is having a growth mindset, knowing that just as a baby will fall, and I have a beautiful 4-year-old daughter, and before she could walk, she would fall. She would fall. She would fall. But she always got back up. She never doubted that she'd walk. She never doubted that she'd run. And that she's proven that she ride with her bike with the training wheels. She ain't doubting she gonna ride that bike without the training wheels one day. The girl ain't learned how to hit the coast button yet. Hills are a problem for her. But she believes she gonna get back up because she has a growth mindset. But the reality is that most of us allow for life to beat that growth mindset out of us. We get told that we can't. We start stepping away from our dreams. That company you wanted to create. Those pounds you wanted to lose. That marathon you wanted to run. That trip you wanted to take. That big opportunity you wanted to take a big swing at. It starts going away because we lose our sense of a growth mindset. More is confronting the brutal facts of your reality and attacking with a warrior spirit. Confronting the brutal facts of whatever your situation is and attacking with a warrior spirit. More is delayed gratification and prioritization. More is loving yourself and loving others. More is leading with courage. More is being ready for the moment, whether it's the elevator speech, whether it's the opportunity to speak at the 100-year fraternal event. Be ready for the moment and crush it always. More is embracing your privilege, because we all have privilege, and using it for others. More is first seeking to understand and then being understood, because understanding is the foundation of hope, understanding is the foundation of inclusion, and understanding is the foundation of leadership. To each of you, embrace inclusion. We are heading into a time that we must be connected as a community of black folks, but we also must be connected across groups. Grind like hell. Fight hard every day. Believe. Always believe. Whatever you're doing, try to land shots against it every day. Know that love conquers all. and know that I am thankful for the chance to be with you today. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for allowing me.